Completed in 1913, the St. Vincent Hospital on Fall Creek Parkway was state-of-the-art for its time. The massive brick building contained 14-foot wide bays, accommodating long banks of patient beds and extra-wide corridors. Ceilings were more than 10 feet high to allow the heat to rise, and operable transoms above the doors provided cross-ventilation. For the visitors, a formal main entry led to the hushed atmosphere of the huge main lobby and the grand 4-story central staircase. In 1974, the hospital moved its operation to the suburbs, and the building was renovated to become apartments for elderly, disabled, and low-income individuals. The transition was less than successful. In time, the building fell into disrepair, eventually becoming the property with the highest police call rate in the city. Ultimately, the affordable housing project closed, leaving the building vacant for more than a decade. Natural deterioration occurred, along with theft of nearly every shred of metal. The building people fondly remembered no longer existed. In 2006, the adjacent Ivy Tech Community College, one of the fastest-growing community colleges in the nation, acquired the site from the city of Indianapolis. Ivy Tech desperately needed more space, high-tech student support and educational spaces in particular. The St. Vincent site was a perfect fit, providing the needed acreage and adjacency to the campus's main academic building. Preliminary studies of the hospital structure itself determined that its narrow structural bays and 2-foot-wide brick-bearing walls were an untenable impediment for accommodating well-proportioned educational space. The obvious solution would have been to demolish the building, but the St. Vincent building was important to the city, to the community, and to historic preservation enthusiasts throughout the state. Working with the college and the community for more than a year, the architect-engineer arrived at a solution: preserve and restore the building's historic southern facade and build a modern educational facility behind the facade. The preservation of the iconic 6-story facade necessitated the use of cutting-edge technology. Use of an electronic 3D point cloud allowed the team to accurately document and recreate brick, limestone, and metal details. More traditional research was used to recreate missing metal pieces, including a complex cornice, stair handrails, and light fixtures, the majority of which had been stripped from the building and sold for scrap or degraded beyond recognition. The reimagined facility highlights and respects the historic portion of the building through contrasting yet complementary material choices, and extends the existing historic datum lines of base banding, fenestration, accent banding, and cornices through the new portions of the building. The new building remains proportional to the original without mimicking it, and allows the more modern appearance on the new building volumes to have congruency with the existing building. The limestone veneer profiles and detailing of the new facades are treated with restraint in deference to the high level of ornamental detail on the existing historic facades. The entry pavilions on the building's north side draw their cues from the materiality, detailing, and proportion of the historic entry and the exterior character of the grand stair facade. The new north motor court establishes the control point for an axial relationship between the entry pavilions and future buildings planned to the west and north of the court. The pavilions also bookend the arc of the student commons, allowing it to extend its reach to the necessary crossing point of the new connector bridge. In addition, the connector serves as a gateway element for the campus. On the building's interior, the grand stair and atrium space was restored in its entirety. In the process, details such as mosaic tile floors were discovered and recreated. Stone columns and terrazzo floors were repaired and restored. Plaster details were recreated throughout these spaces based on careful photographic research and the remaining original blueprints for the building. New interiors were created to offer high-tech teaching and learning opportunities, but details throughout the building, including wood tones, tile patterns, and even custom millwork, pull their language directly from the original building palette. Of note, because of the substantial reuse and recycling of the original building materials and the use of a highly efficient air-based VRV mechanical system that fit within the existing limited floor-to-floor height, the building is on track to receive at least a LEED Silver certification. The new and restored Ivy Tech Illinois Fall Creek Center opened in early 2012. As Ivy Tech Community College President Thomas J. Snyder stated, "We are restoring a piece of city history while providing much-needed classroom space for this growing Indianapolis campus."